The camera fades in on the bustling studio set, bright lights illuminating the familiar cozy couch where celebrities often share laughs and light-hearted stories, but today the atmosphere crackles with unexpected tension as Colin Firth, the Oscar-winning actor known for his roles in Pride and Prejudice and The King's Speech, steps onto the stage of Lorraine Kelly's morning show, greeted by the bubbly Scottish host herself, Lorraine Kelly, who waves enthusiastically to the live audience clapping politely, her signature warm smile plastered across her face as she extends a hand for a firm shake, but Firth's expression seems reserved, perhaps a hint of fatigue from his latest press tour for an upcoming film about historical intrigue, and as they settle into the plush seats, Lorraine launches into her opening banter, complimenting his timeless charm and asking about his family life in a way that feels a tad too probing for the early hour, while Firth nods graciously, adjusting his tailored suit jacket, his British politeness on full display, yet there's an undercurrent of discomfort in his posture, as if he's bracing for something more than the usual fluff, and the audience senses it too, their murmurs quieting down as the interview begins in earnest, with Lorraine diving straight into questions about his personal views on current events, perhaps touching on politics or social issues that Firth has been vocal about in the past, but her tone shifts unexpectedly, challenging him on a recent statement he made in an interview elsewhere, accusing him lightly at first of being out of touch with everyday people, which catches Firth off guard, his eyebrows furrowing slightly as he responds measuredly, defending his position with eloquent words drawn from his experiences. But Lorraine presses on, her voice rising just a notch, interrupting him mid-sentence to counter with her own opinion, the exchange heating up quicker than anyone anticipated, the studio crew exchanging glances behind the cameras, wondering if this is part of the script or a genuine clash, and as Firth attempts to steer the conversation back to his new project, Lorraine doubles down, bringing up old rumors about his personal life that he thought were long buried, her questions veering into tabloid territory, which visibly irritates the actor, his calm demeanor cracking as he raises his voice for the first time, pointing out the inappropriateness of such inquiries on a family-friendly morning program, the audience gasping softly in surprise, some shifting uncomfortably in their seats, while others lean forward, captivated by the unfolding drama, and Lorraine, perhaps fueled by the live energy or her own frustrations, retorts sharply, defending her right to ask tough questions as a journalist, though her show is more known for feel-good segments than hard-hitting interrogations. The back and forth escalating into a full-blown argument, words flying like arrows across the set, Firth accusing her of sensationalism and Lorraine firing back about celebrity entitlement, the tension palpable as the floor manager signals for a commercial break, but it's too late, the damage is done, and in a moment of heated impulse, Lorraine stands up, her face flushed, and declares that if he can't handle a real conversation, perhaps he should leave, to which Firth, stunned but resolute, rises from his seat, straightens his tie, and without another word, walks off the set, the audience erupting into a mix of boos and cheers, the cameras capturing every step of his exit, leaving Lorraine alone on stage, trying to compose herself as the show cuts abruptly to ads, the incident sparking immediate buzz on social media, with clips going viral within minutes. Fans divided between supporting Firth's stand against invasive questioning and praising Lorraine for her unfiltered approach, but regardless of sides, it's clear this exchange will be talked about for weeks, marking a rare moment where the polished facade of morning television crumbles under the weight of raw emotion, and as the script continues, we delve deeper into the backstory that led to this explosive encounter, exploring Firth's history of advocating for privacy in the public eye and Lorraine's reputation for occasionally pushing boundaries with her guests, setting the stage for what became an unforgettable television mishap that highlights the fragile line between entertainment and confrontation in the world of celebrity interviews. Rewinding a bit to understand the build-up, Colin Firth had arrived at the ITV studios that morning with high hopes for a pleasant promotional appearance, his publicist assuring him it would be a standard chat about his latest cinematic endeavor, a period drama that had critics buzzing already, but as he waited in the green room, sipping on a cup of English breakfast tea, he couldn't shake a feeling of unease, perhaps stemming from recent tabloid headlines that had dredged up old personal matters, including his divorce and subsequent relationships, topics he preferred to keep private. And when he was ushered onto the set, the bright lights and enthusiastic applause did little to quell his nerves, especially as Lorraine Kelly greeted him with her trademark enthusiasm, hugging him a bit too tightly for his comfort, her perfume lingering as they sat down. And the interview started innocuously enough, with questions about his preparation for the role, how he immersed himself in the character's psyche, Firth answering with his characteristic wit and humility, sharing anecdotes from the set that had the audience chuckling. But then Lorraine veered off script, or so it seemed, bringing up a controversial op-ed he had written about environmental issues, challenging him on whether his jet-setting lifestyle contradicted his advocacy for climate change action, her tone accusatory rather than curious, which prompted Firth to defend himself passionately, explaining the complexities of balancing career demands with personal beliefs. But Lorraine interrupted again, citing statistics from a recent report that painted celebrities as hypocrites, her words sharp and unrelenting, the exchange turning from cordial to combative in seconds, Firth's face reddening as he countered with facts of his own, mentioning his involvement in various charities and sustainable initiatives, but she waved them off, suggesting they were mere PR stunts. The audience now fully engaged, some nodding in agreement with Lorraine while others murmured support for Firth, the tension mounting as he tried to pivot back to lighter topics, like his love for literature or favorite co-stars. But Lorraine persisted, delving into his political affiliations, questioning his support for certain causes in a way that felt personal and pointed, Firth's patience wearing thin, his responses growing shorter and more clipped, until finally, in a burst of frustration, he accused her of ambushing him under the guise of a friendly chat, his voice echoing through the studio, Lorraine firing back that guests should expect real questions on her show, not just puff pieces, the argument spiraling as they talked over each other, gestures becoming animated, Firth pointing emphatically while Lorraine crossed her arms defiantly, the crew scrambling to intervene subtly. But the damage escalated when Lorraine made a remark about his stuffy upper-class attitude, which struck a nerve, prompting Firth to stand abruptly, declaring he wouldn't sit there and be insulted, and as he stormed off, microphone still clipped to his lapel, capturing his muttered words of disbelief, the audience erupted, some applauding his exit while others booed. Lorraine left to ad-lib her way through the awkward transition, apologizing vaguely to viewers at home before cutting to a pre-recorded segment, the incident quickly becoming fodder for online discussions, with memes and think pieces analyzing every frame, debating if it was a publicity stunt or genuine fallout. But for those involved, it was a stark reminder of how quickly a routine appearance can turn chaotic, forever altering the dynamic between host and guest in the unpredictable realm of live television. And as we explore further, we'll look at the immediate aftermath, including statements from both parties and the network's response to the viral sensation. In the chaotic moments following Colin Firth's dramatic exit from the set, the studio buzzed with a mix of shock and excitement, crew members whispering frantically as Lorraine Kelly composed herself on camera, flashing a forced smile and transitioning smoothly to the next segment about cooking tips or fashion trends. But behind the scenes, the atmosphere was electric. Producers huddled in the control room debating whether to address the incident live or let it fade, ultimately opting for the latter to avoid further escalation, while Firth, now in the hallway outside, removed his mic pack with a sigh of relief mixed with regret, his agent already on the phone demanding an explanation from the show's team, and as word spread through the building, other guests waiting for their slots exchanged wide-eyed glances, wondering if the morning's volatility would spill over. But for Lorraine, the show must go on, her years of experience kicking in as she bantered with the next interviewee, though her laughter rang a bit hollow, the earlier clash lingering in her mind, and soon enough, social media exploded with clips captured by audience members' phones, hashtags like #Firth vs Lorraine trending worldwide, fans dissecting every word and gesture. Some praising Firth for standing up against what they saw as bullying, others defending Lorraine as a no-nonsense host who calls it like she sees it. The debate raging across platforms, with celebrities chiming in via tweets, some siding with Firth's plea for respect, others applauding Lorraine's boldness, And as the day progressed, official statements trickled out, Firth's publicist releasing a brief note expressing disappointment in the direction the interview took, emphasizing his respect for journalists but drawing a line at personal attacks, while ITV, the network airing the show, issued an apology for any discomfort caused, promising to review their guest interaction protocols, though stopping short of blaming either party. And Lorraine herself addressed it later in the program, lightening the mood with a self-deprecating joke about heated Scottish tempers, but her eyes betrayed a hint of defensiveness, the incident casting a shadow over what was otherwise a routine broadcast, prompting discussions in media circles about the ethics of morning TV interviews, where the balance between entertainment and intrusion often blurs. And as analysts pored over the footage, body language experts weighed in, noting Firth's clenched jaw and Lorraine's crossed legs as signs of mounting aggression, the video racking up millions of views on YouTube within hours, spawning parodies and reaction videos that amplified the drama, turning a fleeting moment into a cultural touchstone, reminding viewers of past on-air meltdowns like those involving other stars. But this one felt particularly jarring given Firth's reputation for composure and Lorraine's for affability, the clash humanizing them both in unexpected ways, flaws laid bare under the unforgiving studio lights, and moving forward, the ripple effects extended to their careers, with Firth's film gaining unintended publicity from the buzz, ticket sales spiking as curious fans sought context, while Lorraine's ratings soared temporarily from the notoriety. Though she faced backlash from some quarters accusing her of unprofessionalism, the event sparking broader conversations about mental health in the spotlight, with advocates calling for better boundaries in celebrity interactions, ultimately transforming what started as a simple promo spot into a pivotal moment that reshaped perceptions and protocols in the entertainment industry. Delving into the personal histories that might have fueled this on-air explosion, Colin Firth's journey in Hollywood has been one of quiet intensity. From his breakout role as Mr. Darcy in the 1995 BBC adaptation of Pride and Prejudice, which catapulted him to heartthrob status, to his Academy Award-winning performance in The King's Speech, where he portrayed King George VI's struggle with a stammer, earning praise for his nuanced depiction of vulnerability. But off-screen, Firth has been an outspoken advocate for causes like refugee rights and environmental conservation, often using his platform to highlight injustices, which sometimes puts him at odds with more conservative viewpoints, and his personal life, marked by a high-profile marriage to Italian producer Livia Giugioli that ended amicably in 2019 after revelations of an affair, has been fodder for tabloids, though he maintains a dignified silence on such matters, preferring to let his work speak for itself, whereas Lorraine Kelly, a staple of British morning television since the 1980s, built her career on relatable charm and empathy, hosting her eponymous show since 2010, where she covers everything from celebrity gossip to health advice, her warm demeanor endearing her to millions. But she's not afraid to tackle tougher topics, occasionally sparking controversy with candid opinions on issues like body image or politics. Her Scottish roots infusing her style with a straightforwardness that can border on blunt, and perhaps this cultural directness clashed with Firth's more reserved English politeness, setting the stage for misunderstanding, as prior encounters between them had been cordial, with Firth appearing on her show multiple times without incident, promoting films like Mamma Mia or Bridget Jones, sharing laughs over light anecdotes. But this time, something shifted. Maybe due to external pressures like the intense scrutiny of awards season or Lorraine's own frustrations with declining viewership in a streaming-dominated era, leading to her pushing harder for engaging content, the argument itself unfolding like a scripted drama, starting with innocuous questions but quickly devolving into accusations, Firth decrying the invasion of privacy, Lorraine countering with the public's right to know, their voices overlapping in a cacophony that silenced the studio. The moment captured eternally in digital form, inspiring fan art, memes, and even merchandise mocking the exchange, with t-shirts emblazoned with quotes from the spat. And as the dust settled, both parties reflected privately, Firth perhaps regretting his abrupt departure but standing by his principles, while Lorraine might have pondered her approach, vowing to recalibrate for future guests. the incident serving as a cautionary tale for hosts and celebrities alike, highlighting the perils of live television where anything can happen. And in the weeks that followed, reconciliation rumors swirled, with reports of back-channel apologies and potential future appearances to mend fences, though neither confirmed nor denied, leaving the public to speculate, the event etching itself into pop culture lore alongside other infamous walk-offs, like those by the Bee Gees or Crispin Glover, but with a uniquely British flavor of understated fury, ultimately reinforcing the notion that even the most composed figures have breaking points. And as we wrap this segment, it's worth noting how such moments humanize stars, reminding us they're not infallible icons but people navigating the same emotional landscapes as the rest of us. Exploring the broader implications of this heated exchange, the incident between Colin Firth and Lorraine Kelly ignited a firestorm of debate across media landscapes, from traditional newspapers to podcasts, with columnists weighing in on the state of celebrity journalism, questioning whether shows like Lorraine's have a responsibility to maintain decorum or if edgier content is necessary to compete in a saturated market, some arguing that Firth's reaction exposed a double standard where male actors expect kid-glove treatment, while others contended that Lorraine crossed into unethical territory by ambushing him with unprepared topics, the discourse extending to gender dynamics, with feminist perspectives highlighting how female hosts are often criticized more harshly for assertiveness than their male counterparts, and as clips circulated globally, international audiences chimed in, Americans drawing parallels to similar blow-ups on The View or Ellen, while Europeans noted the cultural nuance of British restraint giving way to passion, the viral nature amplifying voices from all corners. Influencers recreating the scene in skits that garnered millions of likes, comedians incorporating it into stand-up routines, poking fun at Firth's posh accent clashing with Lorraine's brogue, and even late-night hosts like Graham Norton referencing it in monologues, turning the mishap into comedic gold. But beneath the humor lay serious discussions about mental health, with experts pointing out the stress of constant public scrutiny and how it can lead to outbursts, advocating for better support systems in the industry. And for Firth, the fallout brought mixed blessings, his film receiving a publicity boost that translated to box office success, but at the cost of renewed invasive paparazzi attention, forcing him to retreat to his countryside home for solace, while Lorraine faced a temporary dip in approval ratings, though her core fans rallied, praising her authenticity in a sea of scripted interactions. The network launching an internal review to prevent future incidents, implementing guidelines for pre-interview topic approvals, a move hailed by some as protective but criticized by others as censorious, stifling spontaneous dialogue. And as time passed, the story evolved, with anonymous sources leaking details of the pre-show briefing where tensions allegedly simmered, perhaps over script changes or guest requests ignored, adding layers to the narrative. And in interviews post-event, Firth spoke vaguely about respecting boundaries, his eloquence intact, while Lorraine addressed it head-on in a magazine feature, admitting to getting carried away but defending her passion for real talk, the pair eventually crossing paths at a charity gala months later, exchanging polite nods that fueled reconciliation speculation, though no joint statement emerged, leaving the chapter open-ended, a testament to the enduring allure of celebrity drama. And ultimately, this exchange served as a mirror to society, reflecting our fascination with conflict amid polished personas, prompting viewers to reflect on their own consumption of such content, whether it entertains or exploits. And as the script concludes this exploration, it's clear that while the moment was fleeting, its echoes resonate, shaping how we view interactions between the famous and those who interviewed them, forever altering the landscape of morning television with a reminder that authenticity, while valued, comes with risks.